Speaking of messy, one of the questions that I maybe you can guess, and you kind of mentioned this earlier, that came up a lot. And for example, one of my Patreon members actually said this, but there were so many comments asking about this question, was if you could talk about Josh Seiter, your ex. So just to explain for anyone who doesn't know, I did actually talk about this in one of my videos. So you were briefly dating this guy called Josh Seiter who was on The Bachelor, and there was like he's done a bunch of stuff, but he like at one point he faked his own death, and then after you broke up, he said he was trans, but then and for months he was like dressing as a trans, like supposedly, and then he came out as like saying it was all an experiment, and he started saying all this like really anti-trans stuff. So that's in a nutshell what happened. But I was wondering if you could tell us about how you met him, like your relationship and all of that kind of stuff.
Okay. I met Josh Seiter years ago in Chicago when he used to go dance at the gay clubs. And he was messy. He would always get drunk. I mean, he's hot, of course. I mean, he was hot. He ain't hot anymore. He was hot at that time. And of course, all the girls go Google Gaga over him and the gay guys and whatever. I didn't, and that's when I was still living here in Chicago before I went to Kentucky. Okay, mind you. Go to Kentucky, come back years later, I'm on Drag Race. I don't know nothing about him. Nada, smack, whatever. All Stars 8 come. I got an All Stars 8. Next thing you know, I would leave comments on his pictures because we were friends on Instagram. So he would post, the thirst traps, and I'd be like, oh, googly eyes or whatever, like you're hot. And he would put like flames on it, just stupid stuff like that. It wasn't until All Stars 8 and the whole success of Not a Soul Can Clock is where Mr. whatever he is himself came knocking in my inbox. So now he reaches out to me, and oh, that's how he started. I have all the messages. I can send you that too. He texted me, he sent in my inbox, he's like, how come you unfriended me? Because I forgot I unfriended a whole bunch of people. So I guess I unfriended him. It's like, why did you unfriend me? And I was like, what? And I forgot what I said, but anyway, it came down to him asking me out for dinner. At this time, I'm currently in LA recording Not a Soaking Clock Part 2. Yes. Okay. So of course I'm like, this is insane to me. The success of Drag Race, I'm doing great things. I got collaborations, I'm everywhere. Now this hot guy that I liked is in my inbox, asking me out. Like the universe is on my side. I love this. So now I'm in LA. We shoot text messages back and forth because I was at dinner with producers and stuff like that and doing meetings. So we just shoot the shit back and forth. It wasn't until I got back to Chicago and now we're ready to go on the date. Mind you, I just flew back. I'm a little tired. I'm exhausted. I text him and I say, I don't think we should do today. We should reschedule. He's like, please, 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 please. I got a surprise for you. Yada yada yada. I would love to see you. It'll be quick. I'm like, oh, okay, fine. So we go to dinner. He brings me these beautiful pink roses, pink and red roses. He looked great. He looked really, really great. He looked hot, to be honest. So we're just sitting there having a conversation, whatever, whatever. Everything was fine. He walks me by my house. I didn't let him know where I lived because I don't play that. So I had him drop me off like the other side and end up walking around the alley to go to my apartment. So we sit there, we're just talking, whatever. He's like, let's take a picture. It's the second picture now. Mind you, we take a picture in the restaurant. And I'm one of those girls, if I'm talking to a guy, I don't post guys. Like, I don't do that. It's not my thing. It never has been my thing. I don't like people in my business like that. So I don't post this picture now, okay? I don't. I'm walking to my house and I'm just relaxing, whatever. And my girlfriend calls me. She's like, oh my God, you and Josh look so good. I'm like, were you at the restaurant? She's like, no, girl, it's on his Instagram. I'm like, what? Yes. So I go to the Instagram and literally there's a picture already in his story. I'm like, ew, gross, first of all. Like, you didn't even ask me. So now he's texting me. He's like, oh my God, I can't stop thinking about you, whatever, whatever, whatever. And then that's when I was like, okay, well, fine. Since he already posted his picture, I'm going to post my picture. And that's where the story begins. I post a picture of Josh And immediately, a day later, I am flooded. I mean, flooded with inboxes of people telling me about this man. And now I'm like, first of all, I've had this happen to me before where I've dated a guy and people are like, girl, don't date him. He has four baby, just that. So I'm like, I never ever take people's word. I'd rather people show me, what they're capable or whatever, the benefit is out. So mind you, the second date is his birthday. So I buy tickets to a magic show, which is like a couple of blocks down from my house. And we go to the magic show, and that's the first time we kissed, was there at the magic show. That was his birthday. He got extremely intoxicated. It was just really, really weird. Now, mind you, I post these pictures, and now more people are coming at me. Now I'm starting to get videos, videos of him doing stuff like years ago, race comments and all this kind of stuff. So I, of course, confront him because I'm like, all these people are in my inbox. Like, what is really going on? I'm gonna rewind real back. When I'm sitting there, the first time we met in person, I go to him. Because I said, I Googled you. He said, what? I said, I Googled you. And there's a lot of articles about you. He's blatantly looked in my face and told me I put on my own stories just for the publicity. I said, what? But that's nothing new to me because I work in the entertainment business. I see people doing all kind of stunt stuff. But these many articles, like just last week, you was like bisexual and married to a man I saw on the internet. So like, what's really going on? Because I'm really confused. So he told me that, whatever, didn't pay no mind to it. Now, though that was the third date, the birthday. The second day I'm performing at Roscoe's, not a Stoken Clock. He comes there. I invite him to come there. This is where stuff starts to get really funny. Because now first of all, I'm running a little bit late. So I'm trying to get everything together to go on stage. He's hounding me to take a picture with him. So like, I was in the moment. So I got angry. I'm just like, would you go over there for 2 seconds? Like, I'm trying to get ready to go on stage and you're like haunting me for a picture. Like, what are you doing with his shirt off? So already this is kind of like throwing me off. And my best friend, the photographer, Nestor, he's there with me. And because he's filming all of this stuff. And he's like, something ain't right with him. Something ain't right with him. And Nestor goes to me, he's trying to take your clout. And I'm like, what do you mean? Yeah, he's trying to be seen. I'm the hot right now. Why wouldn't he? So it wasn't until he leaves, he records me performing, then he leaves. I speak to him for like 2 days. Next thing you know, we go out for his birthday. And then I have show that weekend. Okay, this is where the starts to hit the fan. This is literally a span of like 3 weeks. Okay, really crazy. So I'm at a show Sunday at brunch in the morning, and I'm sending him photos of how I look in my outfits and stuff like that. Because I was doing his favorite song, Beyonce, that I had performed at Roscoe's that he likes. So we're shooting the shit back and forth. He texts me, it's so crazy that they don't have any more articles about us. I said, what? I said, well, maybe we should release a sex tape if you want an article out. Just like that, I said. And it was something I didn't really think of, like in my mind, because of course, I was drinking and I'm at the show, whatever, whatever, whatever. Now I come home and it's a couple of days, and I'm like, well, I didn't speak to him Sunday. I spoke to him, didn't speak to him at all Monday. That Tuesday, I'm like, when are we going to see each other? We hardly even talk. You don't ever call me. It's always a text message, yada, yada, yada. He has an attitude with me. He's like, I'm a very busy person and whatever, whatever, whatever. So I'm like, okay, fine. If that's how it's going to be, that's how it's going to be. So I don't even talk to him. As a matter of fact, I erased the number out of my phone so I don't have to call it, And then I muted his stories on his Instagram so I don't have to deal with it. Next thing you know, a couple of days passed, I get a text message. And the text message basically goes, you've been amazing. You're such a wonderful person. I think we should remain friends. Something about his grandfather dying. He has to go somewhere to go visit the grandfather. Okay. So I'm like, no problem. Actually, I agree. So I started to write this stuff. I'm blocked. He unblocked. He basically wrote me a message, then blocked me not to get the response. Okay. So now I'm like, what the was that about? So then I'm like, okay, like I'm so baffled. What's going on? I pay no mind to it. Yada yada yada. Like nothing happened. I'm like, okay, fine. We're not together. We're not doing whatever. But then I see his Instagram, or a fan sent it to me, that he's out on dinner with some girl, basically having dinner with some girl. So I'm like, okay, I'm a very smart girl. When men do stuff like that, it's so they want a reaction. He's not getting a reaction out of me. I don't care what he's with. She could have him. Because in the 3 weeks I've known him, my mind has never been so dumbfounded and like lost. And the that he says, because he says stuff and I realize that he just told me something and then the next day it's something else. So I'm just like, no. Then I have a collaboration with a dentist to get my teeth fixed. That's what I have right now. So I'm shooting this collaboration. Okay. It's the day before the collaboration. This is when everybody finds out, and I found out that he's dead, supposedly. Okay. After he sent me the text, he blocks me. He was with the girl, then all of a sudden he was gone, dead. So I'm just like, is really going on? Like, I was devastated, to be honest. And I was only more devastated because here I am with a person that were in literally the last days of their lives. So for me, that weirded me out. Like, oh my God, it does make sense because the guy really is not all there in the head. I mean, I'm not there all in the head sometimes, and I can admit that, but there's something really wrong with this guy. And sure enough, I saw the article. I was devastated. I posted what I posted. The next day, I'm shooting the collaboration with Impress Dental, and we're done filming. As I'm coming out the place, because they're shooting me coming out the place, I receive a text message, not one, but like 1,000, that Mr. Fake ass Josh Seiter is alive. Now, I swear to you, everything in my body went so numb because I instantly knew I'm caught up in a scandal. I'm caught up in the scandal, and there is no way this is not planned. You cannot tell me it's not. So now I come back home. I'm like in the car, basically vomiting because I'm so sick. The day before I found out he's dead, the next day I found out he's alive, and they hacked his Instagram. So I am infuriated. I am the off because I'm like, here we go with this. Here we go with everything that everybody was sending me, and every doubt that I was trying to not have is happening right now. So my photographer was just like, calm down, it's gonna be okay. Like, we knew he was some type of stunt queen. No. Now I'm getting bombarded by nasty messages from people from Instagram thinking I have something to do with this. Talking about that. Here I am trying to hold on to my success from Drag Race and whoopty woo. In the meantime, I'm doing interviews because, of course, people are like reaching out to me trying to find out what's going on. And at first, I don't want to talk, but then I have management too that are like, you need to talk. And I also felt like I need to say something. Do I regret saying that he did this? No. To this day, I still think he did. And nobody can tell me that he did it because he did. It's what happens afterwards. It's him basically denying that we ever dated, which was the stupidest move ever after you don't post it out to the whole entire world. Then calling me they, them, when you gotta know exactly who I am, first and foremost. That was another thing that really upset me. And Josh knew a lot of stuff in the little time that we were together, because we would have our talks, like when we would meet. And, we always talk about family and just stuff that people really know about. So Josh knew that I suffered from depression and all that. And I take medication for that. I have no problem saying that. I've been taking medication for the last 3 years for anxiety and depression. So he tried basically to do everything I told him that I had been through with other men, like men denying me or men, just doing stupid stuff to me. Basically, it was done. And then going on tours, saying that he was never with me and whatever, whatever, whatever. And then a couple of days later, I received a text message from Mr. Seiter himself. Okay, that basically says, and I can send you all this if you want it, if you want to have proof, whatever, you can keep it. I don't care. Because I'm already fed up. I'm like, so want this to be done with, and for people can really see what was going on. He writes to me and tells me that the reason why he denied me is because I basically told everybody that he made that up, but that he cannot stop thinking about me, that his whole world is upside down now, and that I should give him a second chance. That I knew deep down inside that the 3 times that we hung out in person, that we were great, that it was great. And he's like, I'm not trying to keep it with nobody knowing because you're trans. It's just because nobody's relationship works out in entertainment. You should know that, or some stupid stuff like that. So I'm like, little does he know, I was already dating somebody else. So I didn't really care. So I was like, I will never go out with you. You're a psycho. I don't ever want to deal with you. So I didn't really reply. And it was done. Basically, he went on, and I never heard from Mr. Seiter for a while until a couple of months ago when I come to find out that he's everywhere and he and transgender. And yeah, I was taken back. I really was. I was like, oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. So there's a lot to unpack in that story, but it sounds like, yeah, like I remember I did a video about it, and it was just after the whole, like, you breaking up and him denying that you were together and all that sort of stuff before the trans stuff happened. And I remember him, like, yeah, basically saying you didn't date, and he had like faked his death, but then said that his Instagram was hacked or something like that. In terms of after that, so quite a while after you broke up and everything, he then started dressing, I guess, saying he was trans, like, and he was doing all his like videos and stuff. And then later on, he said it was months long. He was doing this like social experiment, and he basically came out with all this like anti-trans stuff, and he did a podcast about it. How did that make you feel as someone, obviously trans yourself, who used to date him?
I felt bad for everybody else, to be honest. And the trans community itself, not so much for me because I already know that he's a piece of shit anyway. And what he's doing is, in the trans community, I'm gonna be completely honest, there's a specific guy that we always talk about. It's the guy that loves you behind closed doors, that can't be without you closed doors, that lusts trans women behind closed doors. Josh happens to be one of those people. Okay. Josh don't even know who he is from today to tomorrow. Because come to find out, a little while ago, I just saw that now he came out as a Black man. Yeah. I didn't believe at all that he was trans at all. I did not believe none of it. But then again, I'm like, I'm not going to continue to feed into that because I'm going to get sucked right back into this. And then it's gonna get nasty because now I'm going to reveal everything, and now everybody's going to see. Then it wasn't until I saw my girlfriend send it to me, actually, is where he came out and said that he wasn't trans, that he was just doing an experiment. It pissed me off. It pissed me off to no sense. It's like, here you go again. Not only that, this whole campaign of this freaking voting stuff has been nothing but just rhetoric, anti-rhetoric against trans individuals. Here you go now, trying to get on the bandwagon. After you did all this, I don't understand why you think that those people think that you're amazing and what you did is amazing. No, they're milking everything they can from you, but you look absolutely ridiculous doing what you're doing. And what I can't understand is that people actually feed into this. His Twitter. I was thinking of my girlfriend. I'm like, people actually worship this guy. Actually give him props for what he's doing. And to sit there and go and say that all us trans individuals are just men playing dress up. Stop playing with me. Because let me tell you something. You can write all you want on the internet. But I guarantee you, if I was to see you face to face, that would never come out your mouth. It wouldn't. Because that's the type of man that you are. You can do everything in front of these cameras. You can get all the likes that you want. But let's have a conversation. Let's sit down face to face. You will never have it done. Why? Because you're a coward. You're a coward. You are a coward.
Do you think
I know
that
what's.
the whole dating you thing, do you think all of it was for clout?
Oh, I know, because I have the receipts. Because guess what? Josh is a messy little. Okay, that's what he is. Is the I'm gonna call him a bitch because that's what he is. He had somebody else help him find me. Okay, and I have these text messages because the blogger that helped him basically felt sorry and apologized to me and sent me all a text message of them two conversating about me. Okay. Yes, I've been holding on to this for a year. For a year. And what he says in these messages are so disgusting, make my stomach turn talking about I don't know if I can go through with this because I heard all trans women have HIV and AIDS. I don't want to kiss her and catch this and catch that. I would never make out with a dude. I'd rather get paid $1 million to get in my ass. Oh, honey, I have all these text messages, okay? All of them. Yeah, I wasn't bothered about the whole thing, but when I saw that, that bothered me. I said, that is so scary because a lot of trans women of color put themselves in this scenario and don't walk out alive and stuff like this. Meeting people that absolutely hate them. So you tell me the whole entire time I'm gonna cross this man. This man thinks I have HIV and I'm dying of AIDS and he hates me and he has all this hatred towards me. And I'm sitting in front of this man. Like it's insane to me. And yeah, yep. I was actually reading them a couple of days ago because I'm like, should I send you these? I think I should because you know what? It's for people to understand truly what was going on and for me to keep my mouth closed for the last year and having to deal with this trauma by myself and with my friends it has been nothing easy. Still seeing a man that literally up a lot in your life mentally just play on the internet for and giggles and likes. And the thing that people actually believe this stuff. People like this stuff. It's just like it's insane to me. And now he's a black man named Javante. It's like, I can't make it up. I'm telling you, I'm just like this is insane. And I'm not here to call people crazy and do stuff like that. But that scenario is crazy. It can be a lifetime movie. Okay, because it's not stopped. It's not. It still hasn't even stopped because now look at. Do you know what I'm saying? And then it's crazy to me. I don't know. I don't even know what to say about it anymore.
I'm so
But yeah.
sorry that you had that. Like to hear that he was like planning it and like, well, if you want to send those text messages, I'm happy to like put them on screen. People can read them. It's obviously your choice if you want to do
Oh
that.
yes.
No,
Hmm.
that is like that is disgusting. Like I'm so sorry that you had that experience. That's awful. I mean,
Yeah.
I knew there was probably something going on there, but I didn't quite realize it was that. So that's quite shocking to hear. Well, I'm hoping
Yes.
that this is kind of you've talked about, but I hope like maybe it's kind of like drawing the line a little bit now of like that's you've talked about and like sort of you can be done with him because you don't want anything to do with like that side of it and like
Oh no. The only. Let me tell you something. I'm a girl born and raised in Chicago. Okay. I am Chicago. I'll tell you that much. I know everybody in Chicago. Okay. I have family that are in law enforcement. I know a lot of people. And so the day he can sit me face to face and have a conversation with me, that'll be the day. And so then I don't care about a rat's ass about him. He can go keep tweeting and doing whatever he's doing. And tomorrow he might be somebody else. To be honest, to me, sometimes I feel like he has multiple personalities, but no, it's not that. He's a clout chaser. He's addicted to the fame. Okay, and I should have known better because he was the first one to be eliminated on the Bachelorette. If she didn't want his ass, what made you think he was gonna be any good for me? And then I said to myself, to my girlfriend, I said, you know what's really happening here? Every girl he has been with ever since is paying the price for what she did to him. Because his ego is so big and that man is full of himself that he can't take a woman telling him no. Okay. Even the arguments we had over the thing, and I'm just like, bye. Like, to be totally honest, too, like, I didn't even have to subscribe to the OnlyFans. The fans don't send it to me. And by what I saw, maybe ain't nothing much there for me to hang on to anyway. So Yeah, there was nothing for me to be like, oh my God, I miss you. No, bye. I want nothing to do with you. And I thought he was gone and he was good. I did not see none of that trans stuff, to be honest, till like a couple of months ago, where I was just like, what? Now he's trans. And then I was like, okay. At first, there was a little inch. I'm like, maybe he is, because every girl he's dated, he's hurt them mentally because I got when this whole thing happened, him passing away and then him denying me in the public and whatever, whatever. I had but just about every girl that has been a 90 Day Fiance that he's tried to holler at reach out to me about this guy. I had people who have done interviews with him that can tell you about this guy. And I'm just like, do you ever know, like, say, with the UFO stuff, you get so intrigued to go down to a rabbit hole in it, like so bad, like everything's about UFO. I swear to you, I was like 3 days, sick to my, I even lost weight down this rabbit hole of Josh Seiter and everything that he has done, from the gay marriage to the OnlyFans to everything, to Gypsy Rose. I didn't even know about none of that stuff. I'm just like, what is really going on with this man? And now he's back. But I'm just
Well,
happy that he finally admitted to everybody that he dated me. Because I'll tell you one thing. Like when I got into an argument with somebody, and they were like, "You were trying to like hold on to your clout." I said, "Not to toot my own horn, honey. Okay, I'm a great looking woman. First of all, there's plenty of men in my inbox with blue check marks, with lots of money, and look great. You think I would go toward Josh Seiter to get clout versus them? And these are movie producers and all this other stuff. No, you got me twisted. It is not that. He came looking for me. That's what happens. So,
my gosh, like you said, it's like a lifetime movie. It's like, but like insane. Like, I'm so sorry you had that experience. That's insane.
yep. And even the I guess he did a documentary with Daily Wire where he thought it was. Well, come to find out, the people who he let in his house were documentary people, but they're people who basically putting out bigots. And I'm glad though that they did that because they reached out to me and let me know what was going on after it happened. Because I was just like, that's when I found out he was a black guy now named Javante. He's come out as a black guy named Javante.
I mean, the less said about him and that side of it, the better. Because I don't know
Yeah.
the guy. Just I know what I see on social media, and I was so confused. But I was more thinking about you in this scenario, like how much it affects you, because he obviously has his own thing going on and whatever. But like those sorts of people. I feel sorry for the people like you that get caught up in this mess, and it's like you're the one then
Ah,
left. That's the people I feel sorry for in this scenario.
yeah,
So
and I try not to like this fixate on that because I'm like at the end of the day it was a lesson learned. But had that be anybody else that's not as strong as I am, that was mentally torturing. And then not even to like, what's next? Because I was sitting there after that, I was like, what's next? He's not done. And he wasn't done. Because then a whole year later, now he's trans. And now this is all happening. And now it's an experiment. And trans people are just men dressing up. It's like
well,
you need a new
no,
story.
I'm really sorry you've had that experience, but yeah. Let's just we'll close the let's not talk about that man anymore
No,
because
good.
but thank you for like clarifying because I don't you haven't necessarily spoken as much about it and like to know the full story is like insane. I'm sure lots of people will be really interested in hearing. I know
Oh
in the
yeah.
comments everyone was
Because
asking about it.
yeah, and I feel bad because sometimes it's like, you know what, yeah, I can like go and just tell and say whatever underneath the comments, but it's like no, it's just like the right time will come about and the story will be told, the real side of the story, and people will see that this person is just like needs help. And to me, what's really more scary is that this person can go do this and not have no reprimands. Like, faking your own death, first of all, is a lot. That's a lot. That's a lot in itself. Then doing what you're doing now, it's just like there's no like consequences for him. Why is none of his stuff banned? Why nothing? It's like why? Because he feeds that narrative that people like, that anti-hate narrative.
No, awful like that. You don't want to get involved in that,
Yeah.
and I'm glad that you're out of that and sort of yeah. But thank you for sharing that. That was very, very interesting and crazy as anyway. But thank you for sharing that. And I'm hoping people now get to see your side of it a bit more. But let's move on.
That bothered me a lot. That's to me, I'm like, I'm not dumb. You're like in a way trying to threaten me. You know what I'm saying? Like if I don't do or say something you want me to say, then all of a sudden it's just like, you signed a contract. And there was one particular person I had, and the producer side that I don't care nothing for. And I hope she sees this. I don't care nothing for her. I think she's rude, she's nasty, and I'm glad that I saw her in the studio and didn't see her out in the street because it would have been a different scenario because she was just so nasty. Yeah. I don't know. At that time, to be honest, like going home, I felt a little bit like, I don't know, taken advantage of. And I hate to say that because it wasn't that. But at that time, being in a position I was, and I just felt very taken advantage of. It was like, oh, we got your moment, you're done, you can go home now.